So I have been using the Dbrand Grip case for over a month now, and the truth is, this case sucks, and here's why. First of all, this case tries to address this age-old problem that plagued humanity for centuries: buttery fingers. Dbrand wants to solve it by making a grip case so that you can hold on to your precious without dropping it. And boy, they did. They made it so grippy that it feels like I'm holding a porcupine in my hands. Dbrand says that there are microscopic textured dots all over the case, which makes this the world's grippiest phone case ever. And I don't doubt them, because this is also the world's roughest case. Let me show you. This case is so rough that you can even file your nails with this. Not only that, it's a nightmare sliding your iPhone in and out of your pockets with this case on. Second reason why you shouldn't buy this case is because Dbrand makes you do their dirty work, also known as outsourcing. So when you order a case from Dbrand, you have an option to choose a skin along with your case. But no, Dbrand won't apply the skin for you. Not yet. You need to do this dirty work all by yourself. And if you're less than 18, in many countries that will be even considered as child labor. This skin is difficult to apply all by yourself, especially if you lack previous experiences. But Dbrand got you covered. Just follow this corporate instruction video and good luck on your new job. Third reason why you should stay away from this case is simply because the MagSafe magnets are weak. They're as weak as Ross's marriage.
3 divorces! 3 divorces!
And if you use MagSafe accessories like this MagSafe wallet or this battery pack, then you better be careful. You better have a case that holds on to your accessories a bit more firmer, just for the peace of your mind. Imagine losing a $40 battery pack, including taxes, just because the magnets were too weak to hold on to. But everything is not so bad with this case. I really like the way these buttons feel, they're tactile, the mute cutout is big enough for fingers of any size and shape. The cutout for the power and speaker grills are large and wide enough. This case has some good drop protection, supposed to be military grade, but we are not here to judge. And on top of that, it fits like a glove without adding much bulk. However, every other manufacturer does these basic things right, and they come at significant lesser price than Dbrand's grip case, and that's the problem. So when you're getting a better product like this Nomad's leather case, which has much more stronger magnets, premium build quality, doesn't eat away your hand, and on top of that it's cheaper than Dbrand's case, then how on earth can I even recommend Dbrand's grip case to you? This Spigen optic armor case, and here's why. Biggest reason why you shouldn't buy this case is because of this lens cover. Spigen calls this the optic armor. This cover is retractable, so you can pull it down to reveal the lens, and once you are done clicking photos of your cat, you can push it up. This is a really good concept considering the fact that it protects your iPhone's lens from scratches and cracks. And we know if by chance the lens cracks, Apple don't repair, they will simply replace the whole phone. And that's a really expensive affair. But on the flip side though, I don't like the execution of this concept, because once you slide the cover open, it simply hangs like a skin tag, and it's made out of this some cheap plastic material. I'm not at all confident that it will survive the test of time. Moreover, if I want to take a quick picture of my cat doing weird stuff, I first have to slide the door open, gently point the camera on my subject, and then click the picture. There is an additional step involved in clicking a photo. By then my cat will start napping. It's too late. Moreover, if I want to turn my flashlight in the middle of the night when I'm sleepwalking just to reach my washroom, I need to remember that there is a lens cover and I need to retract it for my light to shine. That's totally some unnecessary hard work in the middle of the night for the sake of protecting my lenses. And speaking of protection, the lens is already made out of so-called sapphire according to Apple, and tests have shown it does pretty well with scratches and mostly gets the job done. And what really added to my misery is that this case feels a bit heavy, weighing in at 54 grams. But the good thing is that it's easy to put on and put off. You don't have to wrestle with it at all. Having in my hand, this case do feel a bit bigger for one-handed use, but on the flip side, you are getting a good drop protection out of this case. Spigen says that they have used some air cushion technology inside this case, which helps with drop protection. Other than that, I really like the way this case feels in my hand, especially because of the back of this case. It has this grippy matte finish to it, which I really love. Having said that, I hate how it feels on the sides of the case. The sides don't have any texture or grip and feels very slippery to hold. I don't know why Spigen didn't use the same material they used on the back of the case. They could have just used on the sides too.
Ugh, it's So confusing.
And at the bottom, you will find this Spigen logo, which looks pretty sick though. By the way, did I mention this case is MagSafe compatible, and surprisingly these magnets are pretty strong. And speaking of pleasant surprises, I love the volume button and the power button on this case. They're large and clicky. I just love it. And on top of that, the mute button is big and easily accessible. The cutout for the lightning port is big enough for third-party lightning cables. So should you buy it? The answer is no. Don't buy, because most of the cases in the market do offer protection for camera module in the form of raised ridge on their cases. As a result, when you lay your iPhone flat on the table, it doesn't come in contact with the lenses. And the inconvenience of using it and having a flimsy little thing just jutting out of the case is an eyesore. So no, please don't buy this case. I just bought the Caudabe Veil case for my iPhone 14 Pro and I totally regret buying it.
I am such an idiot.
And here's why. So right out of the box, this case feels incredibly thin and light. It is so thin that you can even fold it like a piece of paper and play paper toss with it. But being this thin does bring along with it some advantages and many disadvantages. So here's the good news. This case doesn't add any extra bulk to my iPhone, as the case wraps all around the sides of the iPhone like a tight glove, and it virtually disappears in my hand like magic. But on the flip side though, it is super fragile. It is as fragile as Will Smith's ego.
Oh, wow!
Just look at this. This case cracked open while I was trying to put my iPhone inside the case. Call it self-destruction, you may. Moreover, when I use my iPhone with this case on, it feels like my iPhone will slip off from my hand and fall. It is that slippery. Which is weird though, because this case has a matte-like finish to it and should provide some sort of a grip. Nevertheless, my disappointment doesn't end there. There are no physical buttons in this case. Instead, you get cutouts for volume and power buttons. As a result, these buttons are buried behind the cutouts. So the problem with that is, when I want to increase or decrease the volume, I need to press my finger harder against the sharp edges of the cutout in order to reach the recessed button to register a click. And more often than not, my finger hurts while doing so. But I must admit, I really like the individually drilled holes for the speaker and the microphone.
That's a nice touch.
This is definitely a nice touch. But what really bothers me is that the cutout for the lightning port is small. As a result, third-party cable like the Amazon Basics which I have won't fit properly. Hence my iPhone won't charge properly, and that's a big turn-off. And speaking of turn-offs, this case doesn't offer any built-in magnets for mounting MagSafe accessories like a MagSafe battery pack. But the good news is, since this case is super thin, all your MagSafe accessories will still work, since they will attach to the iPhone's inbuilt MagSafe magnets instead. But here's the bummer. These MagSafe accessories won't stick to your iPhone with substantial force. They fall off so easily. Having said that, the only saving grace for this case is that it has raised ridge around the camera module, which definitely helps protect from scratches, at least. But having used this case for a while, I really don't understand why should I invest on a minimalistic ultra thin case like this ever again over a quality skin from a brand like Dbrand.
No pun intended.
Both of them have the same drop protection,
Which is 0.
and at least with a skin on, my iPhone will feel more grippy. My Amazon Basics cable will work flawlessly, and on top of that, I don't have to dig into the volume button like a savage.